Alright, so welcome to this battlefield terrain tutorial. As per usual, this series I'm going to show you from start to finish how to set up this ball, the different things involved, from the battle mat all the way up to the small accessories and so on that you can add to your board. The idea is to guide you through the process so that you can replicate this for your own games of Warhammer 40,000. So we've got a bit of an industrial heartland here, like an imperial sector, nice browns and rusty kind of colours, real sort of industrial feel to it. Very appropriate for games of Warhammer 40,000. You can imagine Chaos Space Marines fighting across here, Munitorum Space Marines battling away, or perhaps a Tyrannid incursion arriving in this battle zone, and the Imperial forces trying to flush them out. So nicely themed here, very atmospheric board, this one. So I'll share as many links as I can in the video description below. Some will be for tutorials to show you the different elements that make up this board. Others will be for the actual terrain and battle mat and so on. So I'm a big fan of battle mats here. This is Fallout Zone, this one from gamemat.eu. Just check their website. This one is 6x4, so I've marked that out. The edge of it for regular games of 40k, which needs to be 60 inches across, is the recommended size, so I've just put some accessories across here. They do this mat in the 60x44, which is the standard size battle mat, or game size for 9th edition 40k. So we'll take a closer look at this one. There's a nice sort of rusty theme going on with this. There's an industrial sort of side to it, with details such as this running through a grid, but also sort of earth, smashed up bricks and rubble and so on. There's kind of a trench kind of feel going on with it as well. There's some outlines for some runes. You can see the checkered pattern there on sort of tiled floor, and there's some more details of accessories running across there, but it's kind of rusty brown kind of colours. There's some grey running through this as well. There's part of a road here, all broken up, but it just creates these areas of interest and craters running across here as well on this battle mat. The other great thing about battle mats is they roll out nice and flat. It's this mouse mat material, so rubber underneath, and then the design on top. I've actually got flipped battle mats upside down to create the edge here as well. Again, just sits nice and flat. So I just roll these ones, put these ones out upside down, then put the battle mat on top. They're figure friendly as well, so if models fall over on this, it's a softer landing for them, and then it's nice and quiet when you're rolling the dice as well. Got the clattering sort of sound that you might get from other terrain. So battle mat gives you the foundation of the colours. You're trying to reflect that through the rest of the terrain. I'd very much encourage you to get terrain and battle mats that match up as much as possible, just so that the whole theme of the board matches in nicely. So that's your battle mat. It gives you a foundation. You're trying to build up terrain on top. So with this, I'm running the industrial terrain set from gamemat.eu. Just the one set actually fills out this board quite well. In that set, you get this building here, although I have added some walkways on top, which I've actually now done a tutorial for. You get 4 of these. I've painted up 2 of them in this kind of colour here, which is actually Avalon Sunset from Games Workshop. And then there's 2 more across there that you get in the set. I've used corn red for that colour. And you can see those 2 colours running through this terrain a fair bit. You also get 4 of these larger containers. They're a good size. So again, I painted 2 in the corn red, and there's 2 across the other side there, the Avalon Sunset. You also get these boxes as part of that set as well, and you also get 2 of the cylinders, the pipes across there, 2 of those that make up that set as well. So it's a good size, and it fills out the table quite nicely. Most of this half of the board is filled out with that set. Then to complement that and to turn it over into to get it that nice sort of 40k theme, it's the Adeptus Mechanicus terrain, which you can see a good cluster of it across here, broken up into sections, and that just really fits in nicely. These 2 sets really do match each other well, and again the same kind of colours running through on that set also. So that's a fair bit of terrain, but there's good news here, and you can pick and choose which elements you want to use. I've done a video of how to paint these, so they come pre-made, pre-painted in basic colours. It's roughly this kind of colour that you can see here, but with some quick work, and I've been getting some feedback from people that have copied the tutorial and it's worked well for them. Some simple colours and some simple quick techniques, and you can transform this terrain set to match in with whatever battle mat that you want. So it's fast enough and you can get some great results. So check out the tutorial for that. And then there's also a tutorial for the Adeptus Mechanicus terrain. You can see posters being added. There's a poster just tucked in there. Maybe if I go around here you can see it a bit better. I've done a tutorial for that as well. So these shorter tutorials will show you how to accomplish that with your terrain. And then the walkways. Finally, I've put a tutorial together of how to produce these. It's actually a tutorial showing you how to build and paint up the chain link fences, which feature here on this board and in a lot of our battle reports. They're scratch built. The tutorial shows you all the materials you need in the process for making that, and then using that same process you can then go on to make these walkways, which I think just are so good. So custom built, big fan of them, and you can just use them to stretch across terrain and just to create extra levels. There's a couple of them running across here so that I can spread the AdMech terrain out and then just put a walkway in between, and then that just creates a span from one piece of terrain to the next. So there's 3 walkways here, and it just helps spread everything out across the board. So worth doing. The other thing you can make with the same process is these posters here, and again the tutorial will show you exactly how to do it. It's the same materials being used. These posters are just, you can find them on, just type in Warhammer 40,000 posters, Warhammer 40,000 propaganda posters, and then on Google Images there's loads come up. Games Workshop have made some. There's lots of fan artwork out there, and just take them. I've printed them onto normal paper, sprayed them with Munitorum varnish just to help seal in the colour, and then just scissor cut them out and stick them onto the frame, and then put some feet on the frame so that these can sit wherever you want on the board, on top of pieces of terrain. I've got one just straddled up here. It's an ultramarine one, and then across the other side there you can see one over there for the Mordian Iron Guard. But there's loads, dozens of designs, really cool posters out there. Some of them are they're nicely colour themed as well, so whichever colour scheme you go for, you can get posters to match whatever scheme you decide to use. So that covers your mat and your terrain. You build your terrain up, so and just creating these areas of interest on the board. It's a combination of Games Workshop terrain and then GameMat.eu pre-painted terrain set as well, the industrial terrain set from them. And then to really set the atmosphere and to continue on with that 40k theme, to really immerse yourself in the realm of Warhammer 40,000, I add the little accessories onto the board. So these come with the AdMech terrain. Just paint a few of those up. This is Games Workshop accessories here. So you may be using terrain from someone else, from GameMat.eu for example. We just add a few little Games Workshop touches to it, and it just brings it all, ties it all in together quite nicely. There's some Munitorum armored containers dotted about as well. I put some under there also. And then little accessories like these, little touches like this. That's from the Space Hulk set. It just makes the whole thing have that 40k feel to it. And you'll see those kind of accessories dotted about across the board. Then the final touch, again, highly recommend that you do this. Just taking some stones, just to blend the whole thing. You can see there's rubble across the board here. So to lift that, you can bring real stones in, and it just blends the terrain. It helps to help it sit on the board to make it look like it belongs there. So these stones I've got from a beach. So I just saw them on a beach. Nice random sizes too, and there wasn't many shells mixed in with it, so it's nice pure sort of gravel type stuff. So I've got a sample of that, and then they're kind of a pastel stone kind of colour. So what I did was take some sprays, brown spray, bit of red spray, and then just dash that across the stones, put them out on a tray, and then spray them up to match in with the terrain. And so actually they've been partially painted just to help match in with the rusty kind of colour scheme we've got going on with the board. I'd highly recommend you do that. People have asked how long this takes to set up. This took me about 15-20 minutes to set up, and it'll take me about 15-20 minutes to put it away again. So it's not too much of an effort. Take the larger pieces. Well, it's all in reverse order, so I set out the larger pieces of terrain first, and when I pack up, I'll put those away first as well. Gather up all the accessories, and then lift the corners of the mat up, collect all the little stones in the middle, and then just slip them into a grip seal bag and save them for another time. Then in amongst the stones, I'll drop little Warhammer accessories just to create that kind of 40k theme, little bits that I've picked up from different terrain projects and so on, and just dot those around in amongst the stones. And each time you get the stones out, then those little accessories are there already mixed in. So I'm a big fan of this mat. It's got some nice colours going. It's not your standard sort of city grey. This has got some nice rusty tones going on with it, so it's something a bit different. This terrain I do use on the urban grey colour scheme, but it transfers really nice over onto the rusty kind of terrain that you can see across here. So that's Fallout Zone. I'll put a link for the battle mats, or the battle mat, the terrain, and as many tutorials as I can. I'll put those in the video description below, so it'll give you an idea of how you can achieve the same results that you see here. It's just a case of pick and choose. You can copy this board entirely, or you can take elements from this as inspiration for your own 40k games. It's nice painting out armies, but when you can get decent terrain, it just creates a brilliant backdrop, and you can really immerse yourself in each of your games. So what we'll do now is we will go to a musical interlude, finish this game with some music, and then some views of the battlefield, just to show you the little different areas of interest on this industrial board. Keep a lookout for more videos in this series. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.